Hello, everybody. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing fine and great. And I can see so many people who have joined. Very, very good evening. Very, very good evening to everybody. I am so sorry I can't take names of all, but yes, please accept my heartiest welcome to this webinar. And I would try my best, and I think to an extent, I can assure you that we'll be, learning about what we have decided to go with in today's webinar. Uh, Quickly, can anybody tell me that what particular topic we are here to learn for? Quickly, please. See, I like interactive audience, and this is a platform where definitely I only can speak, but I would like you guys to give me your responses, to connect with me through the chat box, and that will be appreciative. Reason being, so that I feel like that yes, I am interacting with the live audience. Okay. All right. So, as it's already been sent in the chat, that do not worry because I'm telling you in advance. Reason being that just in case some font size of the PPT does not seems clear to you or whatsoever. So the reason is, do not get panicked, do not get worried, because all the PPTs would be sent to you, the recording would be sent to you, and the certificate also would be sent to you. So do not worry. Just in case you see that, okay, fine, few fonts are not clear to me or the screen is not clear to me, so don't get panic. All right, so just focus on what I'm saying. All right, so very good evening, and yes, Mr. Abel, Miss Manju, Miss Salma, and Mr. Yasser, all of you have correctly said that we are here to talk about research methods. All right. Now, before I talk about research methods and research methodology, let me tell you that I would try to cover this topic in a very simple manner. Okay. Otherwise, research methods or research methodology sounds like a rocket science to many of us, including me as well. It seems like what part of research is this, and generally I have noticed, and I think that you also would be agree me saying this, that we get scared out of research methodology, right? So please don't get worried. It's just a part of, just another part of research, the way we conduct our literature review, the way we decide our title and so on. Research method is a part of your research. Is as simple as that. Okay, this is what such step which you need to take care of while you are pursuing your research, in terms of you're writing a paper or you are pursuing your thesis and all. Yes, Miss Manju, I would try that it would be informative for you. All right, so let me begin the show for all of you. I hope the screen is visible. Okay, let me, yes, all right. So let me begin by again welcoming all of you. And today's webinar is based on research methods and research methodology. Myself, Dr. Renu Mishra, and I am expert resource person as the research graduate. And I'll be telling you about research graduate as well. As far as about me is concerned, I am a management educationist, and I am an assistant professor. I'm based in Dubai. I teach in Dubai, and I'm taking care of DBA courses, that is doctoral in business administration. That's a capsule course, like PhD. So many European universities, they are offering DBA these days. And I'm also taking care of MBAs in various management modules. As far as my specialization is gone, I take care. I'll not say that I'm specialized in HR, but yes, I take care of HR modules. Okay. And research methodology as well. Now, allow me to begin with the session today, and whosoever your queries are. So, please type in the chat. I'll try to take care of most of them. And by the end of the session, we will also be covering the questions which all you will be having. All right. So let's, all of you, please join in and welcome. All right. So before I got on to the session theme, let me tell you about our organization. That, see, research graduate basically is that your research friend. I would introduce us as a research friend of yours because we are there to help you. We are there to assist you in terms of providing you the services. When it comes to your topic selection, because there are many concerns related to topic selections, what kind of topic we need to go on. So research graduate helps you, or it will be there for you, starting from your topic selection till finalizing your work in terms of editing, proofreading, and in that whatever steps are there, like you want to talk, write about any paper, you want to do the statistical analysis, you want to structure your work, and so on. So we are there to help you. Okay. So this is about research graduate. So basically you can understand research graduate as one step solution for your research queries. Okay. In case anybody would like to reach us, these are the given contact details for all of you. The email ID, the number, and our website you can browse through, so that you'll get to know about more what we are and what we deal into. Okay. All right. As far as the webinar structure goes, like, I'm sure that all of you must be aware about. As I already told you, that we'll be sharing the PPTs and the recording and the certificates with you, and I'll be delivering for around 90 minutes or so, and there'll be a Q&A for 30 minutes. But as far as when so many educationists are there on one platform like you and me, I should say that researchers, the time can exceed. It's okay, so just don't be in hurry that time is running and the webinar is not ending. Relax. All right. All right, so let's get started with today's session, which is about research method and research methodology. Before I begin, can anybody quickly tell me that what is research? Mr. Aris, how to select the topic of my research? We have already conducted a webinar on this, so please, um, if you wish, you can drop in a query to us. We will conduct it again. However, today's session is about research and research methodology. Yes, Mr. Asir, don't ask any, that whether I have a question or not. Just type in the answer. Just type in the question. Okay. All right. Can anybody tell me what is research? The answer is itself in the question. What is research? When we say that, what is research? Research is about re hyphen search. Okay, that's what I understand, and that's what I want my students, like not you all but others, to understand as well, that when you are searching again about one particular topic, that's a very simplest definition or simplest explanation which I would like you guys to understand. Yes, Anveet, or yes, Ares, all of you are correctly saying that research is about searching it again and again, a particular topic. So now when I say that searching it again and again, so basically research tells you to talk about a particular topic, to talk about a particular gap, or a particular concern or a problem, by using a way of methods. Now I will say that, if I say that scientific methods, probably that, that sounds like a very difficult kind of term. So you can say that with scientific method, but I would say that, okay, by a particular method. So when you are researching, when you are understanding a particular topic, when you are talking about a particular topic, so with the help of a particular scientific methods, or slash any particular suitable methods, that means you're doing research. Okay. Now let's understand more about research. Research basically, it's a process. Now all of us, we understand that research is a process, and when we talk about any process, the process has to be The process has to be a systematic one. Okay, it's very simple. For instance, you are cooking. I mean, it's a very layman language, but you're cooking, right? You are, if you're cooking, so you follow a series of steps. You just can't, turn on the flame of your gas stove at last. You have to do it at first. So that step has fixed position in the process of cooking. Similarly, when we talk about research as a method, so research is a process wherein each step has its own place, each step has its own explanation, each step predicts something unique for your research. All right? Okay. Now, talking about types of research, when you talk about types of research, there are two types: inductive and deductive. And when you talk about inductive research, these kind of methods, they analyze an observed event, while deductive methods verify the observed event. Now, inductive methods, they gives an overview about a topic or about a problem, about a title. Or while you talk about deductive reduce, it deduce something, that verification, that logical explanation, statistical explanation is being given in the deductive kind of research. Okay. Now, inductive approaches are basically associated at qualitative research, because in qualitative research, what I would like you to understand as qualitative research is something where you are, observing a particular method, observing a particular cause, observing a particular theory or concept. Now, when you talk about deductive research, it is more of a quantitative in nature, when you are giving statistical reasoning behind any concept or any event, any relation, any association between two or more variables, or let's not say variables only, between the chosen problem and the cause. Okay, so that's what inductive and deductive type of research is. All right. Okay. Now, again, let's have a more or a better refined look on what is research. Now, talking about research, basically, research is there to find out, the reasoning behind anything which is happening around you, which you chose to study. All right. Now, when we say that validity of a hypothesis or an interpretive framework and so on, so I'm sure that all this, you must be thinking that doctor said that, I'll be taking it in an easy way. So let me put it in an easy way. No, when you say hypothesis, can anybody tell me what is hypothesis quickly? Can anybody tell me what is hypothesis? Very quickly, I want this. Very quickly. Okay. Hypothesis is that assumption based statement which you test in your research. Okay, when you which you test about in the research. So basically, research is being conducted, that whatever we are assuming as a statement, what we call it as an hypothesis, is it true or not? Okay, like I said that there is a positive relationship between black clouds on the sky and the rain, that if there are black clouds in the sky, there will be rain following it. Now, this is an assumption. I don't know whether it has happened or not, whether it will happen, or it may happen or it may not happen. But with the help of my study or with the help of my research, I will try to test that whether it does happen or it does not happen. Okay. So research is basically that, whenever you choose to work on something, whenever you choose to study something, you gather knowledge about it. You try to find out that why it is happening, how it is happening, and what will it impact if it keep on continuing to happen like this. So this is about research. All right. Okay, now let's quickly take a look on some of the research characteristics by which we'll be understanding research in a much better way. Now, firstly, I'll take a quick on this characteristics of research, because I'm sure that you till now you all must have understood, or you all must have developed a clear understanding about what are characteristics of research, or how do we define research. Research basically, it focus on a problem. Now when I say priority problems, that means anything which you have chosen to anything which you have chosen to study, right? So that is supposed to be a priority problem. Okay, so basically research is about your priority problem. Then, as I already said, that it is a very systematic process, it's a very structured procedure. You just can't gauge on directly to research methodology and skipping literature review at all. No, no, you have to do literature review. You need to identify your variables. You need to see that what is the kind of theoretical or conceptual framework which has been already developed in the past in the literature by the previous authors and so on. So thereby each or every step in literature, in research, is being to put at a particular place or a particular step. When I say it's systematic, it has to be logical. Okay, now because research is not something which is coming out of nowhere. You can't say something and that you just can't give proper proofs for that. No, you can't do that. It is a proper logical statement or proper logical work which has proper reasoning for each and every step of it. So let's say you are saying that variable a is causing a change in variable b. So when you're stating this thing, or when you are highlighting this thing in your literature, you need to back it up by the previous researches. You need to say that, okay, fine, this particular author has also said so. All right, so there has to be a logic behind anything which you say in research. Then we say that research is reductive. That means that that the findings of one researcher should be made available to another, so that there is no repetition. Now when I say there is no repetition, that if the authors, if you and me, or your colleague or your peers are working on similar problems or similar aspects, or your findings are in a way similar to me because you have literally you have replicated the work, then there is no contribution. Research is supposed to contribute. You might have chosen similar topic, okay, but probably your population is different, your objective is different, so our findings are supposed to be different, so as to make sure that yes, our research is making a difference or giving a contribution in literature. Okay, now when we say that research should be replicable, that means if there should be a scope to confirm the findings of previous research. That means, as I just said, the topic can be same, but I can choose new objectives so that I can extend the work of the previous author. Like we say that future recommendation for future research, that means through my research I am giving a scope to the future researchers that such and such work can again be done, which is based on my topic. Okay, but probably in a different span of time, or probably with different objectives or different population or so. All right, so try and focus, and all these characteristics of research are not only applicable towards the any research paper, but it is also applicable to your PhD thesis as well. So when I am explaining anything, I'm explaining for both of you. My focus primarily would be on the ones who are the PhD scholars, so I can understand that what kind of queries they go for. Now these are the further characteristics of research. The research should be generative. That means you need to answer any question. Okay, you need to make sure that your research is contributing something or generating something valuable. Okay, your research should be action oriented. That means your whatever you have find out, okay, it can be implemented. Like if you remember, all of you, I'm sure that whosoever is writing a paper, whosoever is working on the PhD research, the last section of your paper or the last section of your thesis, that mainly aim for that what is the implication of the study. Either it is societal implication if you're working on a topic which is aimed to bring a very wide change into society, or it is a practical implication. That means, your studies finding can bring a heart out change in any organization. So your research should be action oriented. That means your findings can be implemented. Okay. Also, it should follow a integrated multidisciplinary approach. That means, research approaches from more than one disciplines are needed, because you can't stick yourself to one discipline. You're maybe, if you're working on a topic which is related to human resource, you can adopt some theory, or you can look on for some theory which has been stated in psychology. For instance, I'll tell you an example. I'm sure that many of you, whosoever knows Maslow's hierarchy, please put it in the chat. So, Maslow's hierarchy is that theory which is being given by Maslow's, wherein Maslow's has stated that how, when the individual need at one level, the basic needs get fulfilled, the individual progress towards the higher level of the needs. Now, this particular theory we are using in HR also, people use in psychology also, people use in sociology also. So one particular piece of research is being getting used in more than one discipline. All right. Okay, so this should be the aim. Again, the research should be participatory. That means whosoever is being a part of your research, all the stakeholders should be involved, provided your research is of that nature. Like, for example, you're writing a research paper, you might not have much policy makers now, but if anybody of you is working on a project, there must be some participations apart from you as well. Last but not the least, it should be simple, timely, and it goes without saying. You can't, as I stated in the beginning of this session, that I would try to explain this session in a very simpler term, because if I am talking in terms of jargons or heavy words or rocket science language, you would not be able to understand. Okay, the entire goal is to let the audience understand what is research. When I say audience, so it can be anybody who is reading your paper, who is reviewing your paper. So your work should be understood. So research is not confusing. People make it confusing, okay, by using some heavy language, or by using some jargons, by using some fancy names of the test and so on. But the explanation should be simple. Your research should be, it should not stretch like a chewing gum. It should be time bound. It's not like that, you have chosen a topic to work on and you keep on working 6, 7, 8 years. In that span of time, the relevance of your topic lose its charm. Now, few people will say that when we are progressing with PhD, we take 4 to 5 years. Yes, you take 4 to 5 years, but you keep on referring to the literature till the time even you finish your thesis, because just to keep a check on the fact that if there is anything new which is, or which can create a change, or which can impact our work, so we should involve it. All right. Okay. Now, let me tell you the purpose of research. When I talk about the purpose of research, basically there are two kinds of research, or rather I should say that three kind. On your screen as of now you can see the two one. The first is exploratory, the second is explanatory. Now, before jumping on any concept, this is a tip, or probably this is the way I teach to every of my student, that whenever you are going through any concept, any topic which you might not know, try to go with the literal meaning of that concept in English. When I say exploratory, the term exploratory says explore. Simple. What I understand, I am not going into the definition as of now. The term exploratory says explore. Explanatory says explain. Now, till the time I have this explanation in my mind, I have this concept in my mind, I can go ahead. Now, coming back to exploratory kind of research, exploratory research basically, is that first research which you conduct around a problem. Okay, you start with exploratory research, as I said, You start exploring a problem. What is there in that problem? Okay. Now, whenever you are, with gradual piece of time, you are progressing with exploratory research, you start developing understanding about that problem. Okay, what is this problem about? What is the nature of the problem? What is the root cause of the problem? So you are trying to explore more and more about that particular piece of problem in hand. Also, exploratory research basically details about understanding the problem. Okay, when you are exploring about a problem, you are reading various concepts, you are conceptualizing various theories, you are understanding about the previous works. So basically you are exploring about a problem. One thing. Now let me take you to the explanatory research. Now, explanatory research is also called as causal research. Now, causal research is also a new word which we have never heard of, right? Now, causal, the word causal, can it sound similarly like cause, right? So, whenever you are talking about explanatory research, you are referee. See, whenever you come across explanatory research, explanatory, explain. Why, how we explain? When we give the reasons. Reasons means cause. Simple. Very simple. Right? So, when you talk about explanatory research, that means you are trying to find out the reasoning behind something is happening. And now, when I say something is happening, that means there are probably variables, and you're trying to identify the reasons behind the associations of the factors. Okay, that means you are telling explanatory research as the why of any research. Okay, now coming to the descriptive research. Now, descriptive research is again, you know when you say that, the word itself is describing or descriptive means describing any problem. Now, when you say you're describing anything, so you are telling everything about that problem. Okay, you are saying everything about a problem. That means how it is happening, the nature of the problem, why it is happening, sorry, what it is. And but you are not saying on the why, the reason you are not telling. The reason you will be telling through the explanatory research. Okay, that means you are describing the problem with the various characteristics of it, the nature, the dynamics of it. Okay. Okay, now this is the basic understanding about the all the three kinds of research which we have discussed right now. So when you are using exploratory research, probably the research approach is unstructured, and when you are talking about descriptive and explanatory, it goes like from unstructured to structured to highly structured. Okay, this is the pattern they follow. And research conducting through, when you are exploring something, obviously you want in-depth information, you want some detailed information. So it is conducted usually through asking research questions. Similarly for descriptive, and when you're talking about explanatory, you are trying to find out some cause behind the variable association. Like usually in hypothesis, what we do, we are trying to understand the positive impact or any influences there between two variables or not. Similarly in explanatory research, when we conduct the exploratory research in the early stage of decision making, when we are, see, when we want to understand the reasoning behind any decisions, so what we take, what we need a lot of information with us. Okay, so that's what, at the time of exploratory research, we conduct it in the early stages of decision making. When we talk about descriptive research, we progress, when we are already progressed in the later stages of decision making. Similarly for the explanatory research. Okay, now let's talk about research methods. Now, what are research methods? We need to conduct some research. Now, How will we conduct it? Simple, with the help of research methods. So, research methods, in very simple language, I'll tell you, research method are the ways, these are the strategies which helps you to conduct your research. Very simple, man. If you now, what is research? To understand a topic, to understand a problem, to identify a solution of problem. So, in doing all that, what we are using? We are using research method. Very simple. Okay. All right. Now, moving ahead with research methods. Now, firstly, it's qualitative. Now, it is very simple. What is qualitative? Whenever you are obtaining the data about individuals' emotions, about their behavior, about their experiences, which requires in depth analysis, okay, where you are trying to understand how the people are interacting, what are their behaviors, what is their reaction in a social setting, why this culture or how this culture is like this. All these aspects requires you to develop an in-depth analysis of a particular topic, of a particular concern in hand. Okay, this type of research is basically is useful in exploration type of, or when the research purpose is exploratory type, when you are trying to identify why do individuals behave like this, why they cannot control their emotion, how the emotion of of an individual affect their well-being, right? So you are trying to generate an in-depth understanding about the chosen concern or the chosen research topic in hand. All right. Okay. Now moving ahead to the next one, that is qualitative research methods can be the data can be obtained by all these methods. Okay, now you can, let's say for example, you can observe few individuals. Now when I say observe the respondents, or observe the people whom you want to study, so basically when you're talking about observation, so what you do is you do not disturb the actual setting of your respondents. You do not disturb that, you just keep aside, you just keep yourself aside, and you just observe their behavior. You just uh, let them behave the way are. Okay, similarly for the ethnographic research, now observation can be done in an artificial environment, whereas in ethnographic research this kind of direct observation is always in their natural environment. Like if you want to, let's say for example, see, Ms. Chandni, if the slides are too blurred, don't worry about it. This is a picture, you will be getting ppts with you, so which you can understand later, not a problem. Okay, so when you say that observation or ethnographic research, basically you are not disturbing the actual behavior of the respondents. One-on-one interview, you all know that. Focus group also, you must be knowing that when you let uh, few people or couple of respondents to discuss about a particular topic given to them or questions given to them. Similarly, the case study and the record keeping, when you maintain the record, when you keep on understanding the data in the form of records, you study, and then case study when you understand a particular event and a particular organization or a particular individual. Okay, so these are the ways by which you can obtain the data for qualitative research methods. All right. Okay. Now, coming to the next set of research methods, which is called as quantitative research methods. Can anybody tell me about quantitative research? What is quantitative research methods? Can anybody tell me quickly? All right, please keep on typing in the chat. All right, guys, please. Also, when we talk about quantitative research methods, basically the data which is supported with a mathematical explanation. That's what, I would like you to guys understand. Wherever there is a reasoning behind any association, anything which is happening in your research, whenever you are trying to justifying the relationship, measure the relationship, measure the variables with the help of statistical analysis, you can, no, let's say for example, in qualitative research, the kind of data you collect, you can't rank it. Okay, when you discuss about the emotions of an individual, you literally, you can't rank the emotions of the people which you have observed. However, when you talk about quantitative data, the data is of such nature which can be measured, which can be ranked. Like for example, when you are talking about the preference of the people choosing to go for convent school education. Okay, so how many people are preferring to go for convent education? Now when we are saying that, how many, okay, that means quantitative. Now when we are trying to say why they are going for convent education, then we are trying to identify the reasoning behind for it. For that we'll go for their behavioral analysis, for that we'll go for their qualitative aspect. Okay, so basically, like somebody said, that attitude, yes. Now before I move ahead, let me give you a quick understanding about attitude. What are attitude? Basically, attitude is that measurement, or probably attitude reflects your preference about something. Okay, that is SPSS. Sorry, SPSS. I read somebody's comment. Not SPSS. That is your liking or disliking. You can be neutral also. Like for example, whether you like going out for shopping in malls. So I am asking about your attitude, you being liking going to mall or not. Now listen to my question again. Whether you like going out for shopping in malls. So try to understand between the lines that I am not asking about your attitude towards shopping. I am asking about your preference going to shopping in malls. Okay, so I'm asking whether you like going out for shopping in malls or not. So that is measuring your attitude, and that will be a part of the quantitative research methods. Okay, now how you can conduct the quantitative research methods? By all these methods, by correlation research, by survey research. When you are conducting a survey, when you are conducting any experiment, when you are finding the correlation between whether there is a relationship between two variables or not, and when you are describing the research, that is descriptive research, which we just understood. Okay, all right. Now, one of the most popularly used methods, that is mixed research methods. Now, before I move ahead, I would like to ask how many of you are actually pursuing PhD? Who are the what do you say that research scholars? Now somebody say that ethnographic research. See, ethnographic research method is a type of observation where the respondents, or where you are, whomsoever you are observing, they are into their natural setting. Okay, let's say for example, I just said that, shopping in mall. Okay, when you are trying to understand the consumer behavior of people of age between 20 to 30 while they are doing shopping. So you are going in a shopping mall, and then you are trying to understand that what kind of behavior they are displaying when they are making a choice for purchase for, let's say, sports apparel, or perfume brands, or cosmetic brands. Okay, now, yes, I am. Okay, Mr. Satish is doing DBA. Mr. Satish, where are you doing from DBA? Yes, Mr. Datta, you're absolutely right. Okay, see, don't worry about the text. The PPTs would be given to you. Don't worry about it. My question was, Who is doing let's say DBA or PhD? Anybody? Okay. Okay, very good. Very, very, very nice. And please, guys, when you mention that you are doing DBA or when you are doing PhD, please make sure that you mention in what stream you are doing or even what specialization you are doing PhD. Okay. Okay, like I can understand Mr. JP law solicitors, they must be doing in law something, which I'm assuming. All right. Please make sure that in what area you are doing PhD. Very nice. It's very nice to see a lot of people who are doing research and a lot of people who are pursuing their PhDs. Is very, very nice. Mr. Abel is doing in HRM. Okay, Mr. Abel, you and me are from the same we are from the same domain. Very nice. Power systems, very heavy word. Oh my God. Neuromarketing. Interesting topic, I must say, Mr. Karthik. It's a very interesting topic. Economics. Oh my God. Shipping industry in India. Very, very nice. Now, why did I ask you that what you are doing in PhD? Why? Because with such platform, when you attend such webinars, when you attend such event where people from across the world are there, and there is one faculty of management. Oh my God, this is very nice. I want to do a PhD in nursing. Very nice, Shani. Okay, why I said that, asked you that on what domain you are doing PhD, because see, this is such platform where you guys are meeting virtually with so many research scholars of different interest area, or probably similar interest area of like yours, who are belonging from different part of the world. Like I'm in UAE, somebody is in India, somebody is in somebody is in Kenya, or somebody is in another part of the world. So try to make best out of it. Okay. Entrepreneurial finance. Oh wow, Mr. Manoj, because these days I'm working a lot on entrepreneurship. I'm writing couple of papers on entrepreneurship, and it's very nice. Currently I'm focusing on entrepreneurial capital actually. All right. So very good, very good. It's nice to see a lot of research scholars. All right. Now coming on what I was saying. Now I asked how many of you are pursuing actually PhD. Now my next question is, how many of you are opting mixed method research? That was my question actually. How many of you are actually choosing, or how many of you are actually conducting their research in or through mixed research methods? Quickly. Somebody is doing it in philosophy, very nice. Somebody is doing in ethics. Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, that's very nice. Yes, somebody is research scholar at JMI. Okay. I suppose all, Mr. Manoj, one thing. Whenever you are a research scholar, we are not supposed to suppose, first of all, unless and until we are sure of something, we don't put it forward for our audience. Now when I say audience, we don't put it forward for people at large. Okay, that's a piece of advice, that being a research scholar, unless and until we are sure of something, see, even we begin with hypotheses which are assuming, which are assumption, but by the end of our study we prove them or we test them. All right, but unless and until we test them, we don't put it for the people at large to study. So whenever we are scholars, don't assume for people at large, assume it for yourself and then test it. Okay. All right. Yes, Mr. Sudhir, you can watch it again. Don't worry. All right. So many of you are conducting mixed method research. Very, very nice. It's very good to know that, because it's one of the most popular way to conduct research with mixed method research. Another thing I would like to point it out here is that people generally think that qualitative research are not good enough, which I would like to clear an air here, that we can't put qualitative research probably at a lower level than quantitative or mixed research method. It's not like that. Depending upon the interest area of the research scholar, and depending upon the topic which you have identified, you need to go for the research methods which you need to choose from. However, you can't say that qualitative researches are bad, or quantitative researches are good. And I'm not saying that any of you are saying, I'm just telling you the general phenomena which is being observed. Okay. All right. Now, what is mixed method research? Again, the name says it all, that when you integrate both the qualitative and the quantitative. So, firstly, let's say, for example, you are trying to understand the phenomena, any particular phenomena, that this happens when there is an interaction between two variables, and with the help of quantitative research, you test that whether this happens or not. Now, what I believe is that what I have written is also that when you talk about mixed method research, it's a holistic approach. The word holistic means overall, complete. Now, you are quoting something in a contextual form, like in theoretical form. You have analyzed some factors, some variables, and you are, with the help of quantitative research, you are providing the logical reasoning also for that particular association, for particular interaction between the variables. Okay, so that is mixed method research, and that's why it has been one of the favorite among the research scholars, because this particular method leaves no stone unturned. By saying, what I mean is that whatever you are quoting in your, or whatever you are exploring in your qualitative research, with the help of quantitative research, you are justifying that, you are giving a logical reasoning for that. Whether it happens or not, you are giving a support with the statistical analysis of the data which you have collected in qualitative data. Okay. All right, let's move ahead. So this is basically the way you go for the mixed research methods. Now there are three kind of designs: conversion parallel designs, explanatory sequential design, exploratory sequential design. Okay. Now, when you talk about conversion parallel design, so you start with, you do the quantitative data collection and analysis, then qualitative, you compare and interpret. Okay. Now, here you talk about the areas of convergence or diversion. I mean, if there is any kind of conversion or diversion between the results of qualitative, or whether simple language. In conversion parallel design, whether there is a similarity or dissimilarity between the qualitative and the quantitative data. Okay, now simple language. Now again, don't say that picture is not clear. Listen to me. Whenever, let's say, for example, you have collected some data with qualitative data collection methods and some quantitative research methods. So conversion parallel design basically explains whether there is a similarity, like both the datas are talking on the same platform, or there is a dissimilarity, that no, both the data, like human behavior says so, but it cannot be, or on the statistical analysis of such data, it has not been proven. Okay, so whether there is a conversion or divergence, you explain that. When you talk about explanatory sequential design, you firstly, you conduct the quantitative research, you collect the quantitative data, you then follow it with the qualitative data collection, and then you interpret. Okay, so basically what it does, it determine what quantitative results needs further explanation. Okay, so whatever mathematical form of data you have collected, so you explain it with the help of qualitative data. For example, somebody says that 48% of employees, they like to work with a manager who is more empathetic. Okay, now the word empathetic again means a lot, and that what we'll explain in the help of qualitative discussion, that majority or less than, like since I said that 48%, so less than majority of the employees, although they are happy with the managers, however they still want their manager to be more considerate, to be more sympathetic, to be more aware about their problems. So here what I have done, I have actually explained the relationship between what you say, that when employees say that they want to work with empathetic managers, so I have given an explanation that what exactly is an empathetic manager or why they would like to work with him or her. That's what. Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on to exploratory sequential design. Now, in exploratory sequential design, if you remember, we discussed about exploratory research, wherein we talked about that how you explore about a particular concept or a particular problem. It is exactly the reverse of explanatory. In explanatory, you conduct the quantitative first, followed up by the qualitative. Similarly, in exploratory, you conduct the qualitative first, followed by the quantitative first. So now, for example, in qualitative, you understand some behavior, you understand some opinion. Now you give the logical reasoning for that, statistical analysis for that. For example, one of my students is conducting research here on understanding the concept of skill volunteering. Okay, when you talk about skill volunteering, so that why people are not willing enough to now let me tell you about skill volunteering. Also, skill, you all understand, any characteristic, any quality of yours which you practice through the years. Now, volunteering means willingly contributing towards a cause or willingly contributing towards the society. So when you volunteer your skill, for example, I'm a teacher. In my free time, in on the weekends, generally we understand it as a charity, but it's not like that. Skill volunteering means I'm a teacher, so I decided that on weekends generally I'm free. So what I can do is I can conduct some camp, or I can reach out to the slum kids, or I can go out to the kids who needs tuition or they can't afford it. So I decided to teach them. So what I'm doing is I'm volunteering my skill. Which skill? Teaching skill. I have some knowledge, I'm sharing it with the society with no cost associated with it, on my own wish. Okay. Now, if anybody is, again, I have told you that PPT is not visible. It's okay, fine. Listen to me. That's important. PPT would be given to you. This is a picture. It might not be clear to you. Okay, don't worry about it. So in exploratory design, what we can do is, like, we are conducting the data that why people are not willing to it. Either my family is not supporting me, I do not have time, my university does not teach me what a skill volunteering, or I'm generally occupied on my weekends. And so this is what I have understood about the problem, that why people are not willingly contributing their skills. One thing. Okay. Now, this is what I've got to know. Probably I've interviewed them, I have observed them that generally they do not have time. Now, what I do is I'll probably, I'll conduct a survey wherein I'll ask them the question, or probably I'll let them respond that what are the reasons with which or because of which they are not able to devote their skills to the society and large in their free time willingly. Okay. Now, again, when you say that you are conducting a quantitative research, so what you have understood in the qualitative, you are trying to balance it out, or you are trying to justify it with the quantitative data collected, and then you interpret. Okay. Now, somebody says that how do we decide to rationalize or the weightage? Now, Mr. Datta, actually, whatever kind of topic you are you have chosen for your research, according to that you need to see that what kind of qualitative data or what kind of quantitative data. There is no actually fixed percentage that it should be 50-50 or 60-30 or 60-40 or 70-30. There is no fixed ratio. It all depends upon that what kind of like, for example, if you are understanding or if you are studying attitude. Okay. So in that, your quantitative data analysis would be more. Okay. In that case, your automatically your quantitative data analysis would be more as compared to. Now, when you said a more or less, uh, I would not able to tell you that whether you are asking me number of pages or you are asking about word limit. What I understand is, depending upon your topic, that when you think that okay, fine, when I'm talking about qualitative data, I'm collecting the data, or I have collected the enough data on the basis of the variables which I have chosen or which are under consideration for my study. Now I'm testing the those variables. Now, for to test the variables, how many respondents you need, what kind of sample size you need to have, or probably how many tests you need to employ, that completely depends upon your topic. So there is no fixed measurement of that 20 grams of qualitative research or 40 gram of quantitative research, not like that, depending upon your research topic. Again, one thing very important, all those who are doing PhD research, um, all those who are PhD scholars, make sure whatever method you choose, obviously you are always in touch of your research supervisor. Do not surpass your research supervisor. If you have decided you'll go to for quantitative research methods, okay, talk to your supervisor, take him or her in loop, give the proper justification for the same, ask his or her opinion, because he is or she is there to supervise you. So always keep your supervisors in loop, whatever methods you are going for, or whatever he or she is suggesting you. You may not have a same opinion with him or her. Try to have a healthy discussion that why not this, why this will improve your research, but do not surpass your supervisor. Okay. All right, now let's move on. Now, what is research methodology? Till now, what we have understood was research methods. What we will be like taking care of now is research methodology. Research methods, just simply understand these are the strategies or the tools with which we conduct our research. Very simple, no rocket science. Now, research methodology is basically is that process. Now, here the word very important, systematic. Okay, systematic method means you are pursuing from one point to another point with a method, with a systematic process, wherein you have a problem, you go with data collection, you go with analysis techniques, and so on. That is research methodology, the entire method, sequential step of conducting a research. Okay. Yes, everybody of you will be getting a PPT, or you'll be getting a recording as well. Do not worry. All right. Yes, thank you, Mr. Chaudhary, that as you say that you are very clearly able to see it on laptop. Definitely, when you will view such things on mobile, mobile is just small screen, yeah. Just try to view it on a tab or a iPad or a laptop. I'm sure it will give you a better visibility. Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. Thank you so much. Okay, coming back to research methodology. Research methodology is that systematic method wherein you progress through your data collection, data gathering with the help of various techniques, and you reach out to the solution of the problem. Okay, moving more about research methodology, it interprets the data gathered. Now, in simple language, all the scholars understand data interpretation, data analysis, and data interpretation. Data analysis means when you take out the like 46%, like you have conducting a survey between 100 people, 25 say that yes, 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 13 say that no, 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 no. So you're translating that yes, no, or the whatever the way you have collected the data into the percentage or the pie graph or the pie charts, whatever way you want to. Now, interpretation means what exactly 46%, if 46% of people are saying this, what does it mean? So, everybody, you and me, will not be able to understand the percentage. We have to give a meaning to that percentage. Okay, so when we are giving a meaning to that percentage, that means we are interpreting our results and what our audience can actually understand with this. Now, if I'm saying 46% of employee are happy with working their manager, that means not even half of the respondents agreed that they are happy working with their manager. That's a conclusion. That organization needs to put in a lot of efforts or need to look into the matter that what is actually causing the employees not being happy working with their managers. Okay, so when you try to put that interpretation, that is research methodology. Now, another way, another explanation for research methodology is how a researcher actually systematically designs a study. Okay, because you have always research aims with you, you have research objectives with you. Now, you are trying to understand those research aims, you are trying to understand those research objectives, you are trying to address a problem. How you are going to do that? With the help of a chosen research methodology. Now, many a times, most of you must have understood that, that various people say that, or various scholars, or various authors, they say that always choose a research methodology according to your research objectives and aim, and that is absolutely true. That when you talk about research aims and objectives, that aims and objectives tell you that yes, what kind of research methodology would be chosen. Okay, all right, let's move on to further explanation about research methodology. Okay, research methodology basically it's a skeleton of your research. Now, when I say that skeleton of a research means like the skeleton of your body gives structure, shape to your body. Similarly, your research methodology is providing a structure to your body, to your research body, to your study. Okay, then it tells you that what will be the method you will achieve, what will be the way of conducting the data, how you will analyze the data, how will you explain the data, and basically you kind of give justification of what you have chosen. Okay, okay. Now, somebody have said analytical research is qualitative. Now, basically, when you talk about analytical research, basically analytical research, some who said Mr. I don't know who's his Fari's friend. It's basically, it is an independent form of research which, organize and which provides the explanation for both, you know, for qualitative and quantitative both. So they are basically, when you talk about analytical researches, they are conducted by the organizations. Okay. Then coming back to research methodology, and let's understand what is the significance of research methodology. Now, research methodology will tell you where to go, which method to take, how to interpret, which tool to use for, and how to conclude. How conclude? When I say conclude, I means interpretation. Okay, so right kind of research methodology which tells you that which is the right path for your research. Now, often I have come across to the concerns that various scholars, they get confused what to use, what to choose. Now, in regards to that question, basically that, that is very subjective. Why? Because which methodology to go for, which kind of research method, what will be the it will be it will be explanatory or descriptive, it all depends upon the nature of your study. What is your nature of your study, what are the aims and objectives of your study, all depends upon that, and that is the homework which you need to do. So once you have a clear idea that what exactly you would like to understand, or what exactly you are trying to identify, on the basis of that you go for the right kind of research methods. And for the scholars, when I say scholars, I mean PhD scholars, those who are pursuing their doctoral studies, definitely always a discussion with your supervisor is appreciative. Okay, research method, probably what happened is many a time we say that qualitative seems okay to me, but your supervisor we say that no, if you're conducting quantitative research method in this, you will be having more concrete results. Okay, generally what happen is, because what happened when you are trying to defend your thesis into at the time of your viva, the qualitative research, that's a general perception about the scholars community, that Qualitative research are generally difficult to defend. That's why either let's go for quantitative or let's go for mixed. That's a general perception which I have noticed and which I have found in many of the people. However, it is not so. Widely studied theoretical framework, clearly understood theoretical framework can definitely prepare you to defend your qualitative studies as well. However, I am not advocating for qualitative or quantitative or mixed. One suggestion, that's it. Please make sure that whatever is the kind of your topic, whatever are your aims and objectives, your research methods should be in align to them. Okay. Now, a very common question which I also asked in during the defense viva for many DBA students, that defend your research methods, or explain your research methodology and defend it. So when I say defend it, that means you need, what I'm asking is, you need to establish an alignment that this is my research objective or these are my research objective. That is why I have chosen this research methodology, which is, or which made me capable enough to reach to this results because of such reasons. So when you are trying to justify your research methodology, you are trying to, always kindly make a note of it, you are trying to establish an alignment between your research objectives and your research methodology, that because we had this research objective, we are trying to identify this, that's why this research methodology has been taken. Okay, make sure you follow this. Okay, and that's a suggestion from my side, just a suggestion. So this is research methodology. Now many of you say that it's not clear, it's versus research methods. Now it's, I'm sure all of you must be clear about the difference between research methods and research methodology. Research methods, very simple, whatever is written on your screen, you will be getting in ppts, just listen. Research methods are the tools. Research methodology is that complete procedure. You use research methods in your research methodology. Okay, that's a very simple and clear cut difference between research methods and research methodology. Okay, now we'll be talking about some various aspects related to research methodology. First is measurement objectives. I'm sure all of you must be clear about it, that what are measurement objectives. These are those reasons because of which you are conducting your research. I mean, these are the expected results, what you like. For example, to identifying the factors influencing the consumer behavior in Dubai market towards real estate. Simple. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to look out those factors which influence that why people in Dubai are buying real estate market. Probably they have they think that they will be having better financial security. This ensures that they'll be getting a visa here, or this is their retirement plan and so on. So what I'm trying to get out of my research, I'm explaining or I'm stating in the form of these objective. Why measurement? Because we measure these objectives with the help of the data which we gather and we analyze. And many studies I have seen that they are stating n number of objectives. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't go for 6 7 8 objectives in your study. Eventually, why? Because this will make your study too lengthy. Firstly, irrespective, let us forget that it's lengthy or what, it leaves an impression to the reviewer that the scholar is not clear. Too many objectives will lead you too much of data collection, will lead you too much of data analysis, too much of data interpretation. Eventually your objectives should have a clear linkage between each and every as well. Okay, now I was just about to come to this question that somebody will definitely ask me, that what is the ideal number of objectives. Now again, the common answer would be that depends upon the nature of your study. However, in my opinion. Again, I'm not saying that is the final answer from me and you have to follow this. No, in my opinion, and what I advise to my student is 3 to 5. That's it. Now when I say 5, it's on extreme end, it's on higher end, so I don't advise my students to go beyond 5. Again, I'm saying that depends upon your research supervisor as well, whether he would like or she would like to go for 2 or 3 or 4. In my opinion, you go for 3 to 5. Especially any one of you who's doing DBA here, make sure you keep 3 objectives. Good to go. For DBA, I'm saying. Now, all those who don't understand DBA, DBA basically is a shorter form of PhD. You can say that it's a capsule form of PhD. PhD, you take 4 to 5 years. In DBA, you can complete it in maximum 2 years. Okay. So, ideal, now Mr. Satish said ideal number is 4. Exactly, that's fall between 3 to 5. So 3 to 5 is that range which I think that objective number of objectives should have been there fall into. Why I did not give a particular number? Because again, your nature of study is different, your research supervisors may can have different opinion in that. So balancing out, 3 to 5 is the ideal number. Don't use high end English in your objectives. Make it clear and simple, because although research, you are doing it for yourself. Okay, you want to earn your PhD degree, or you want to get your name prefixed with doctor, or you want to write a paper and so on. But eventually your study work will be read by somebody else. Okay, that will be published somewhere, some reviewer will review your work. So your work, your measurement objectives, your objectives should be in such a language, so that I'm able to understand. If I'm not able to understand your study objectives, I'll not go ahead. Okay, many papers which come to us for review, I particularly find that few objectives are too clearly stated, that I just go for the research objectives, I go to the methodology and conclusion, that's it. At times, I don't even go for literature review, because I know that the way how clearly the objectives are stated, if the objectives are clearly aligned with the methodology, conclusion is set, good to go. But many a times objectives are so confusing that I had to go for first to understand the literature review, then I come back again to the objectives. Okay, fine, this is what the author meant. So make sure that your objectives are clear, simple and explained. Okay, and always make sure that do not write a very lengthy objective. Make it precise, crisp. Nobody is interested in reading way out of written language. All right, so make it that ways. Now next aspect is very important, is data collection. Now research, we want to do the research, we want to conduct we want to conduct research, we want to understand, study and whatnot. But how will you do that? On what you will do that? On data. Now, how would you understand data? Basically, data is that piece of information on which you work. The nature of data can be quantitative, the nature of data can be qualitative as well. So, on that data, you conduct your study. Data collection is how you obtain that information, how you get access to that information, which particular way you get the information, why you need that information. Because you had certain research question and objectives with yourself, you want to test certain hypothesis. Okay, unless and until you have the access to the data, until you have the right kind of data with you, you will not be able to do it. Okay, so that is data collection, which is again a very important aspect of your research methodology. Now, as I said that you need to have the data, because you need to conduct the research, and data can be collected to multiple collection sources, which we have recently said, which we have recently seen. And again, I'm saying that your research methodology should be explained very well. So your data collection tool, that why you employed interviews, why you chose to have questionnaires, why you chose to have close-ended questionnaires. Okay, that each explanation should be detailed. Okay. Another aspect of research methodology is survey. Survey is one such tool which you use to collect the data, and these days it is one of the most commonly used form of collecting data, because we are somehow restricted at our respective homes, because we can't go out. Pandemic has hit it, the world. It has enveloped majority of the accesses which were otherwise free. So online surveys are the most commonly used form of data collection. Okay. So wherein, what do you use that, you collect the data with your predefined group of respondents. Now when you say predefined group of respondent, as I promised to you that I'll explain you in a simple language, your sample. Predefined group of responses means your chosen sample. Who will be your sample? So you distribute, or you give these surveys to them. And why you give them? Because you want to understand what they feel, what they have opinion, what kind of attitude they share, and what is their knowledge, or what kind of information they can share with us on our chosen topic. Okay. Now these days, as I said, that you can go for the physical survey also, you can go for the online survey also. And depending upon what kind of your study nature is, what kind of research questions are, and what kind of the goal of your studies are, you choose for the particular method. Now, next aspect of your research methodology is your reporting plan. Now, you know you conducted the information, fine enough. Now, why you conducted the information? So that you can share it, so that you can let your supervisor, your SRC committee, your reporting body, that what have you done. Okay. Generally, I'm sure majority of the scholars, that's what I also have done in my PhD, during my PhD time, that when you conduct your PhD, you need to have a timely report submission to your committee, research committee, SRC committee, your supervisor, or whosoever is responsible to assess your work. Thank you so much, Mr. Niru. Thank you so much. To assess your research work, that what have you achieved. Okay. Now, this is very important. I'll tell you an instance what happened during my PhD. One of my colleague, we cleared GRF. I'm sure the ones who are from India, they understand what is a net exam, national eligibility test, and GRF, junior research fellowship. So under GRF, all those who don't know, you receive a scholarship to pursue the PhD by UGC, University Grant Commission. So we were JRS. So we were supposed to give this. That was our university rule. I pursued from Jamia Hamdard. So that was a university rule, that there were 4 steps in our PhD. At the end of every step, we needed to give our progress. That's what you understand by reporting plan. We need to tell our progress, that what have we done till now. Okay. And that time, that was the progress meeting, that was we used to call it, wherein there were some representatives from UGC also, because we were scholars. So they had to upgrade us from junior research fellowships from the senior ones, SRF. So mine one was the first presentation, it went well, fine, okay. And the next colleague of mine, why I'm telling you this, that why the reporting plan, presentation, preparing it is important. She knew everything, but the presentation was not elaborated enough. Now what happened is, when you are, see, you are a scholar, you are dealing with a topic, obviously it's your baby, you know everything about it. But when you are mentally prepared, that I have prepared a presentation with myself, and so somewhere, if you forget something, you get back to the PPT. But in her case, PPTs were not elaborated. So in spite of the fact that she knew what I'm doing, why I'm doing, she got flumbered. Okay. Why I'm telling you this instances is because this is the importance of reporting plan, that it should be clearly stated. It should be presented in such a manner that it is elaborating everything. Now when I say elaborating everything, do not fill out the slides, do not fill out the powerpoints. Bullet out the important points. In case you are giving a report in PowerPoint, in case it's a Word document, you still have an opportunity to explain it. Okay. And try to explain your milestone, whatever you have achieved. You have conducted your literature review, you have published your review paper in some journal, whatever you have done it, explain it that. And in any reporting plan submitted to any university, research methodology is very very important, because in majority of the universities, I'm sure all of you must be knowing it, that they ask you to submit a synopsis beforehand, before they take you into their PhD course. Why that synopsis is important? Because they want to understand that what kind of clarity is there with that candidate related to the topic which he or she has chosen. Okay, so how well, see, whatever research methodology you have given into your synopsis, it is subject to change later on, but that prepares the university people in advance that yes, the scholar has clarity, scholar understand about research methodology and what he wants to do in the entire tenure of the PhD, he or she is aware of. Okay, so this is very carefully, it should be very carefully drafted. Now let us have a look on qualitative and quantitative research methodology. I am so sorry the picture is not clear. Do not worry. Let's focus on this. Whenever you will receive this PPT, you will get this clear. Okay. So do not worry. I have another one for you. So this particular piece of picture will tell you that how thus there is a difference between qualitative and quantitative. I'm sure that the discussion which we had till now, you must be having a clear idea that what is the difference between both quantitative and qualitative. So very simple: quantitative, numerical data; qualitative, non-numerical data. How you can collect the data in quantitative: surveys, online or in-person interviews, experiments. In qualitative, open-ended surveys, unstructured interviews, and so one piece of information which I will tell you, with which you will never get confused between what should be the collection method in quantitative and qualitative. In qualitative research, you are trying to get in-depth knowledge, in-depth information. So when you want to have in-depth information, you need to give a chance to the respondent to express, to speak. Is it possible in any close ended survey where you are only given the option to choose from to the respondent? No. It is possible when you are conducting open ended surveys or questionnaires where you are giving proper, like, why do you like such things? So, when you are asking why, you are giving a chance to the respondent to explain you. Okay, so just don't get confused, just go by this qualitative: I want more data, I want detailed data, so my data collection tool should be like this. Okay, why it is best for what particular piece of research it should be, it is everything, it is there whatever we have done. Or and most importantly, what kind of analysis you do in quantitative analysis. Primarily in quantitative analysis, you go for statistical analysis, you probably go for charts or tables, and or you go for histograms or bar graphs or pie charts. When you go for qualitative, it is basically you explain through the manual analysis, you explain the common themes, what is the common reasoning erupting out of the data. Okay, so I have given the examples also. For instance, did you buy ice cream today? Now, did you buy ice cream today can only have answer either in yes or no. Now if I say yes, I did buy the ice cream, then why do I buy the ice cream, it will give you the reason. If I say no, I did not buy the ice cream, why did you buy the ice cream, it will give the reason. Okay, now if you see, this kind of data will come to me in quantitative data, and this kind of data will come to me in qualitative data. Qualitative data will give you the reasoning, and quantitative data will give you the numbers. Okay, all right, now if we want to if we want to, have mixed, now combine both of them. 67% of the people, they bought ice cream today because it was on sale, and because of their impulsive buying behavior which erupts out seeing a sale, they wanted to treat their taste buds with a ice cream. Okay, so that's what is the kind of explanation which, again, um now we'll be going through. Somebody has typed no, can you please type why? Now we'll go for the methodology for qualitative research, and then we'll be moving to the quantitative researches as well. Now, there are few approaches in qualitative, okay? And what does it involve? Now, let's talk about grounded theory. Basically, in grounded theory approach, the researchers, they collect the risk, the extensive data on a particular topic, and then the development of theories takes place. Like for example, if somebody is trying to understand, one of the scholar which I know, that whom I know, that he's trying to understand, as I stated the topic, that he wants to understand the real estate behavior in Dubai for the expatriates. So he's trying to develop a theory based on the factors which he has understood. Then ethnography approach means basically researcher, the ones who is collecting the data, they immerse in group or organization to understand their culture. That's what I said, ethnographic research. You do not actually disturb or take out the respondents from their natural setting. If you want to understand the people's behavior or employees behavior, how they behave in the organization, so what the researcher do, they basically be a part of that organization. When I say be a part of that organization, means they go and visit the organization, and then they observe the behavior of the employees. Now when you talk about action research, now basically in action research is an action driven approach where the researcher and the participants, they both are trying to find out a solution for a problem. This kind of approach, it generally happens whenever there is, let's say for example, an organization issue is there, and when the person who is a researcher from the organization's side, they call somebody from outside as a consultant. Okay, so the employees and the consultants, they are working together to find out the right kind of solution for the problems which are there in the organization for the time being. That is action research. There is an action research model also. The ones who know change management, there is an action research, organization development and change management, there is an action research model as well. Then comes phenomenological research. Okay. Now, again, name is very rocket science type, phenomenological. Simple English term comes out to my mind is phenomena. Okay. So, in this, simply understand, whenever the researcher is trying to understand a behavior or trying to depict a phenomena, or why does people behave in this particular manner in such events. Okay. Oh, thank you, Mr. Talia, thank you so much, thank you. Okay, so why the respondents are behaving such way in in this particular environment. So I'm trying to understand a phenomena. Why migratory birds fly from war, why albatross fly from its for its breeding ground in July to October from to Japan or Alaska. So this is a phenomena. Why I'm why they do so. I'm trying to uh, understand, or I'm trying to take dig out in that phenomena. So that phenomena is in July to October, albatross being a migratory bird flying to Japan. Okay, now I'm trying to understand this phenomena because for their breeding. Okay, so that's, I'm trying to interpret a particular event, or I'm trying to understand or investigate a particular phenomena. Okay, then comes narrative research. Now, narrative research, you must have understood a lot about narrative analysis, narrative research. Is basically in this, the researchers basically examine that how the stories are told to understand. You are narrating, okay? You are narrating the behavioral analysis conducted by the researcher or the participants to others. You are explaining their experiences, you are sharing their stories, you are telling other that why they are behaving like this. That is narrative analysis. Narration, okay, narration is always in detail. Okay, that is narrative analysis. Now comes qualitative research methods. So these are the qualitative research methods which we have already discussed, that what are observations, interviews you all know, focus groups I have discussed, and surveys also I have told you. Okay, all right. Now comes to qualitative data analysis, how you can do that. Now, when you talk about qualitative data analysis, now, firstly, whatever information you have collected, whatever data you have collected, you are trying to transcribe that. You are organizing that. So let's say, for example, you have taken the interview of 30 people. So you piece out the piece of information. Mr. X said this, Mr. Y said this, Mr. Z said this. Now you are organizing that data. Okay, now next step is that in all those 30 people's responses, what are the repeated facts which are coming to me? What is the pattern which is coming to me? Now, out of 30 respondents, 21 respondents said that money does not act as a motivator for them. Okay, now that means you have seen that majority of the respondents, definitely money is not the only motivator. They are looking for something else. Now again, you will look out for the responses, that what is coming out. Now they say that for somebody, for five said managers, role of manager is very important in their motivation. Some said career growth is very important. Some said organization culture is very important. So what you have come across, that manager support, organization culture, and career growth, these are comes out to be the factors which influences any employee's motivation being in any organization. This is the way you understand your data. Okay, then what you do is you do a coding system. Now what do you do a coding system? Basically you provide codes to the responses or to the factors which you have received or which you have identified from the responses given to the by the respondents, and you provide a codes to the data. Like for example, in qualitative survey analysis, this may going through, you are going through each responses and tagging them from a code. You prepare a spreadsheet. Now what happened, by giving a code, you are basically translating your data. You are making, or I mean in simple language, you are making your data easy to understand. Okay, so all those, let's say for example, money, factor of money, I've given code A. So let's say 21 people belongs to code A based on their responses. Okay, so it's very easy for me to understand A rather than writing all their responses again and again. Okay, so it's very simple. Prepare your organize your data, understand your data, what does it mean, or how the repetition, or what is the pattern, code them, and then explain that code. Simple. Now, again, how do you do the analysis of the qualitative data? You'll say that coding is done, everything is done. How do you analyze that? So first is content analysis. When you use that, when you are categorizing some common words, you have come out some common ideas. And example also I have given, that a market researcher could perform content analysis to find out what kind of language is used in description of therapeutic apps, okay, applications. Now he or she, the researcher, would identify, let's say for example, a particular language is being used majority in the therapeutic applications. So this way he is trying to find out the common language being used for these application. Then thematic analysis, you identify the patterns, you identify the themes. What are the themes or what are the patterns in the given data? Like for example, a psychologist could apply thematic analysis to travel blogs to explore how tourism shapes self identity. Means, for example, the people who travel more often, they become confident. So Tourism impacts confidence of the travelers. That's a theme. So that means that's basically a pattern, that if the people would go more and more, if they travel more and more, that will positively impact their confidence. They become self independent. That's another pattern. Okay, this is the way you identify the themes which are commonly coming out. Textual analysis is probably, you are finding any particular design or particular the structure. Okay, now for example, a media researcher could use textual analysis to understand how news coverage of celebrities have changed in the past decade. That how in last 10 years the news coverage covering the for any industry has changed, how the structure has evolved, how the personal interviews has started taking place, how the one-on-one discussion or how the coffee interviews have come into picture, and so on. Okay, then discourse analysis. Basically, when we talk about discourse analysis, it's about, you try to understand the way communication is taking place. Like for example, any political scientist or any political science researcher try to understand that how politicians, they try to generate trust in common people, what kind of language or what kind of affirmative words they use, so that they develop trust from their audience. Now, one thing to notice here is, whatever is the kind of approach, you have seen the different examples for them. That means, whatever is the nature of your study, whatever is the nature of your domain, you will choose the type of data analysis according to that. Okay, now some ethical consideration when we talk about qualitative research. I think ethics these days are getting diluted lot many times. Like for example, people don't pay attention towards plagiarism or confidentiality of the respondents and so on. But make sure that your ethics, your like if you are conducting any research on any respondents, and if they do not want to reveal their identity, please make sure that your research do not reveal their identity. Okay, and whatever is the perception of your respondents, please don't dilute that. Please don't add in your perception, because uh, you may not realize, but yes, you are altering your research eventually. So whatever the observation, whatever is the what do you say, that whatever is the information which you get, try to use the same kind of information. Okay, do not play around with the data. All right. Okay, and always, whenever you are conducting, let's say, for example, interviews, personal interviews, make sure that you obtain the consent with the respondent first before conducting any interviews with them. So these are some small ethical consideration which every researcher should give. And these days, you won't believe that, various foreign universities, uh, they make sure that whatever is the data collection tool is ethically right or not. Unless and until they conduct a review meeting for your data collection tool, whether it is ethically right or not, they do not approve your data collection tool. That's for sure. Okay, so this ethical consideration is one of the most important aspect in research these days. Okay. uh, all right, now we'll talk about methodology for quantitative research. Till now, we did qualitative research. Then now we'll be talking about quantitative research. Okay. Now, survey research, as I told you, that here you talk about, you're asking questions, probably the online polls or paper questionnaires and so on. So, you conduct these surveys on a specific group of respondents. Now, I gave the term for those respondents, that is sample for your research. Okay, so you conduct these surveys. Now there are three types of surveys basically, sorry, two types of surveys basically: cross sectional and longitudinal. Cross sectional surveys basically where the researcher is intended to collect the data from a sample of the target population at a given point in time. Okay, here this is the main thing to see, may at a given point in time. Okay, now he or she can conduct same survey with different samples. Okay, with different more than one samples are involved in cross sectional surveys. Now, in longitudinal surveys, what happened is you are observing the sample's behavior or the respondent's behavior over a period of time. Okay, now try to understand between both. In cross sectional time, there are multiple surveys, but the data is conducted or data is collected at one point in time. In longitudinal surveys, you know, you are conducting the survey with one or two samples, but at different period of time. So basically at one point in time they are behaving like this. If the time change, or probably with the progression of the time, there, what is the change in the behavior? So that's the major difference in their nature of these surveys. Cross-sectional survey, multiple surveys, one point in time. Longitudinal survey, during the frequent intervals of time. Okay, not one point in time. Okay, then coming to correlational research. Now, correlation research is, again, as the name suggests, is trying to establish the correlation between the two or more variables. What will happen if a independent variable or dependent variable is there? Now, when I say independent variables, which does not encounters any change. When I say dependent variables, a variable which encounters any change if there is any shift in the environment or the independent variable. Okay, so these are dependent and independent variable. Very dependent variable undergoes change, independent variable no effect. Simple definition. Okay, when you talk about correlation research, so researchers basically, try to identify the relationship between or the association between two or more variables. Examples are there. For instance, I'll just take one example. What is the relationship between stress and depression? If you have stress, you'll probably progress towards depression. Okay, so this kind of examples for correlation research are there. Next is causal comparative research. Now, causal comparative research means cause and effect relationship between two or more variables. Okay, so what is the impact on dependent variable? All right, and like as you said, what is the change in dependent variable because of independent variable? So, what causes what? What causes what? You understand in correlation, causal comparative research. Okay, so basically the examples of this research is, for example, what is the impact of drugs on a teenager? Like, if a teenager is consuming drugs, so what is the effect of that? So cause is drugs, what are the effects? Probably he'll go for anxiety issues or the health issues or the depression issues. So the effect is depression, health issues, stress, anxiety. Causes drugs. So we are trying to understand that what are the cause and effect relationship, what happens if there is a cause, and what are the various effects on particular respondents because of some cause. Okay, next is experimental research. So basically this research is surrounding around the theories. So here the researcher is basically trying to either agree with the statement or not agree with the statement. Like, for example, as I said, in Maslow's hierarchy, when your basic needs are fulfilled, you move to the next level of hierarchy. It is true or not, I am trying to identify, I am trying to verify the statement. Okay, all right. Now, what can be the sampling method? Different sampling methods. As I told you that, whenever you want to conduct the data, you need to have certain, whenever you need to conduct a research, you need to have certain data with you. Now, these are the few sampling methods, like, for example, probability and non-probability. Probability means every respondent have some sort of chances to get into the sample, wherein in non-probability sampling methods, known chances are there, and on the basis of these categories of probability and non-probability, they can be categorized as simple random, cluster sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling. In simple random sampling, you choose the respondents randomly. In cluster sampling, you first divide your population in clusters. Okay, similar characteristics of the clusters are there, like groups, and then you choose out of them. Systematic sampling, like I am choosing every fourth person. Okay, irrespective whosoever is the respondent, I'm choosing every fourth person. So that is a systematic, a pattern I'm following. Stratified random sampling me, you create stratas, and then out of them you choose randomly. Okay, when it comes to what do you say that non-probability sampling, convenience sampling is I'm choosing based on my convenience. Whosoever is available, I'm choosing that. So it's based on the respondent convenience. When you talk about purposive sampling, so there is a purpose to be chosen. For example, I'm conducting a research study on the school leadership. So school leadership, when it comes to school principals, would be the part of my research. So that's a purposive sampling because the characteristic of the sample suits to my research requirements. Okay, snowball sampling means when, let's say for example, I want to go for a survey. I want to go conduct a survey to the people who are employed in software industry. So I've given you a survey, probably you know somebody else with the reference, you know, the way snowball moves on with the people, probably you know the you follow your references. This is referencing sampling. And then last is quota sampling, is that you know when you choose your samples out of the quotas created. Okay, all right, so this is the explanation for what we have discussed right now. What I've explained to you is given into this explanation. All right. Okay, now comes to SWOT, data analysis. How do you actually do data analysis? Now, basically, you can do the data analysis either by SWOT analysis, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Basically, organization, they use this kind of analysis when they want to either go for marketing strategy or product development strategies, or what is the marketing position of them against their competitors, and so then comes conjoint analysis. Here you are trying to understand the complicated purchasing decisions, like what is the option or probably the choice of the consumers towards the particular product. Okay, then cross tabulation is basically, which is wherein you are trying to establish the relationship. You are trying to understand the trends between the various parameters that you do in cross tabulation. Turf analysis, it stands for totally unduplicated reach and frequency analysis. It is primarily conducted where the reach of a favorable communication source is to be analyzed, like whatever is the mode of communication, or to probably the way the communication is being done, you understand that source. Okay, now let's talk about hypothesis, one of the very important aspect of your research. As I told you, any statement which you want to test in your study is hypothesis. Okay? The statement which is precise, simple, and can be tested, most importantly, can be tested, it is called as hypothesis, with which you begin your research. Now, when you talk about alternative hypothesis, now, alternative hypothesis means there is a relationship between two variables. Okay. When you talk about null hypothesis, there is no relationship between two variables. So, always just make a simple clarification in your mind. Whenever there is an alternate hypothesis, if you add a no in it, it becomes the null hypothesis. So when you accept or reject, always make sure to see that, thereby the proven results or the proven analysis of the data collected by the scholar makes the scholar to accept the alternative hypothesis and reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so when you talk about alternate hypothesis, it's just trying to prove there is a relationship between the variables. When you're talking about null hypothesis, that means you are trying to prove that there is no relationship. Now, whether there will be a relationship or there will not be a relationship, that you will prove once you conduct the analysis, once you conduct the research. Okay. Now, let's talk about evaluation and justification of methodology, like, which is very important. Like, when I say that you need to justify your research methodology, so basically, you need to make sure what you need to ensure when you talk about your research methodology, that why you chose this method, okay, why this particular method is more suitable than others. Like, many a times, your in your defense viva, your reviewer may ask you that why you did not go for this method, why only this. You should be prepared for such questions as well. Not only that, you why you have chosen this, but also why you have not chosen this should also be well prepared. Okay. Then your weaknesses and limitation in your approach, because you know what, because uh, also because every research methodology have some sort of research limitations. Okay, that also should, because no methodology can be 100% perfect, but if you mention these limitation and weakness already to your reviewer, they'll be ascertain that okay, fine, the researcher has a clear idea about the research methodology. Okay. All right. So when you talk about unstructured interviews, like unstructured interviews, yeah, you're asking different questions to your sample. Like, all the questions are not same for all the people who are being conducted with the interviews. Okay. Now they produce the result which cannot be generalized. You can't generalize because my opinion is different from yours one. So, but with the explanations given in the unstructured interviews, you get results in detail form. That's what I'm telling you. Like, for example, if somebody said that why you go for unstructured interviews, for if you're, let's say, you're conducting a psychology study or a behavioral studies, then you can easily say that with the help of unstructured interviews, I get to understand the behavioral aspects which is differing between different respondents. I am trying to understand that why there is a difference between the behavior of different respondents in different events. So, with that, unstructured interview is the best suitable tool for my study to collect the data. Okay, this is the way you need to justify. And now, let's quickly look for the tips when you're writing for strong methodology. Sources, sources, sources. Citation, citation, citation is a must. Okay, it's a must. You need to make sure that you just can't randomly go for a particular methodology. You need to assess that why this, why not others. Okay, it should be clearly well structured research methodology. What kind of difficulties you had in data collection tool, like for example, respondents were not available, or probably respondents were not telling their clear inside behavior on being asked upon being asked of certain questions in interview and so on. Okay. And simpler terms should explain your research methodology. You need to tell that, oh, we have gone through different methodology, but this is being chosen as for our research study and why. Okay. And why your research is important, why your research methodology has contributed to the significance of this research. All this needs to be mentioned when you are writing a strong methodology. Okay. Methodology is not only about we have chosen this method, we have chosen this data collection tool, we have chosen this data analysis, but why we have done this, why we have done this also needs to be done. Okay. All right. Okay, now this was from my side for this webinar. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'm open for that. Somebody said, Miss Varsha Sadar, please explain this topic next time in Hindi. Okay, for that, Miss Varsha, we need to conduct a session dedicated for in Hindi language. Although मेरी हिंदी ठीक है, काफी ठीक है, but looking ahead that we have international audience with us, so this time it was not possible, but yes, definitely we'll look into this matter, that if somehow we can conduct some webinars completely in Hindi language, we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak. Thank you so much, Mr. Chandni. Thank you so much. So I'm sure that you all have understood research methods and research methodology. I tried to explain it in a very simple language, and I hope this has at least uplifted your knowledge. Whatever you already have, I am sure already must be having. And please, if you have any questions, please go ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody, for giving your weekend evening for this webinar. Yes, Mr. Taj, if you have any questions, kindly type in the chat. And it's very nice to see so many of research scholars coming on a similar platform. And see, if anybody wants to contact me, or you can get in touch with us through research graduate contact details, and everything is being given to you, the email ID and the contact numbers and the website detail also. You can get in touch. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Xavier. Thank you so much, Srinivas Virtually. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Kras. Thank you so much. So, okay, okay, we take it to matter. We'll conduct a webinar on t-test analysis and space analysis. We'll do that. We'll do that. See, basically, when it comes to conducting a webinar, we conduct it in a series. We follow it, or we try to establish a series. So we started with the topic, and then we moved on to literature review, background, and plagiarism. But yes, definitely we'll look into this. We'll conduct on the same. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes, you will all be getting a PPT slides copy. You'll be getting, and you'll be receiving the recordings as well. Don't worry. Thank you so much, Lima. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Taj will be taking care of this fact. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Satish. Thank you. Yes, Talia. Yes. That's I think the same question is being given by Mr. Taj. We'll be there. Ms. Pratibha, I did not understand your question. Something that has to be searched or finding again. Okay, you're talking about, I think, if I'm not wrong, you're talking about research. Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you so much, everybody. So I assume that that was all from your end, and that was all from my side. And kindly, just be rest assured that research graduate would be there for all your research queries, whatever the kind of queries you have when it comes to, because I know that when it comes to the journey of a scholar, there are many difficulties we come through, we try to go through. So, Research Graduate is one such platform, one such step solution wherein you can get in touch with us, and we'll try to fulfill all your queries, or we'll try to suffice all your concerns which you have. Thank you so much, Talia. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much, everybody. So, I hope that we'll be in touch, like research graduate, and you all will be in touch for further webinars as well. And if you have any other research queries, please get in touch with research graduate. Okay, we'll be happy to serve you. We'll be happy to help you rather. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so let me take a leave from there, and we shall see all of you in the next session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Bryson. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, it was lovely interacting with all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.